Okay, let's unpack this. We took 12 foundational verses,
Just 12.
pulled really almost randomly from all over. Canonical sources, Septuagint texts, Net, Young's literal, a real mix.
Mm-hmm. Different eras, different authors.
And the mission, well, it was a big one. Could these, different verses just thrown together actually reveal something coherent, like a hidden theological structure?
A kind of accidental blueprint, maybe?
And what we found, well, it's surprising. They really do seem to come together. Not just random points. We're seeing like three clear unifying threads.
Yeah, and what jumps out straight away is this core idea, this mechanism, really, of divine purpose working on a schedule. Appointed times, the text call
It's
it.
appointed time.
It suggests God's timing isn't just vague, sometime later. It's like a guaranteed countdown, measured.
Okay, but hang on. Couldn't that just be us seeing a pattern? You take any 12 texts, maybe you can find some kind of timeline. How do we know this isn't just, well, convenient?
That's a fair question.
Mm-hmm.
But look how precisely the texts use this idea, and on totally different scales. Genesis 29, Jacob literally says, "My days are fulfilled."
Right, when he served his time for Rachel.
Exactly. A very specific, measured duration for one person's life event. Then boom, Exodus 16, the whole nation of Israel eats manna for exactly 40 years.
40 years, not roughly 40.
Precisely 40 years, until they hit the border of Canaan. So you've got the individual scale and the national scale, both operating under this strict, measured time leading to a set outcome.
Okay, I see the consistency there. So that sets up the timeline principle. Now, you said this is where it gets really interesting, the leadership models.
Yeah, because once that rule of appointed time is established, the texts immediately show what happens when human leaders, earthly authority, mess it up.
They break the rule.
They break the rule. You see the ideal, like the priest carrying the ark correctly in Joshua, but then reality hits hard.
And King Saul is the big example.
Oh, absolutely. 1 Samuel 13 is brutal. Saul gets impatient. He won't wait for Samuel for the appointed time. He basically jumps the gun, takes on a sacred role that isn't his.
And the consequences are immediate.
Devastating. Samuel just leaves, walks away. And Saul, he's left standing there with, what, about 600 men, it says.
600, that's nothing, militarily speaking.
It's barely a bodyguard. It's his instant public stripping of his effective authority. His impatience, his pride, costs him everything.
So that failure, Saul's failure, it does more than lose a battle. It kind of creates this theological need for a different kind of king, someone who plays by different rules.
Precisely. It sets the stage perfectly. If earthly kings fail because of pride and impatience, the divine answer has to be the polar opposite. Which brings us to the nature of true dominion.
Okay.
So Daniel 7 gives us the picture of worldly power. This predator, a lion with eagle's wings, fierce, grabs power. And God has to, force it into submission, make it stand like a man, give it a human mind. But it's still, fundamentally flawed. It's ambition forced into a human shape.
So Saul's failure and this lion beast thing, they're the problem statement.
Exactly. They set up the divine solution, which Philippians 2 gives us. The true ruler doesn't grasp. Instead, he did empty himself.
Empty himself.
Yeah, the Greek word there, like Hudson.
Yeah.
It means just this radical pouring out, taking the form of a servant, complete self-renunciation. It's the direct answer to Saul's pride.
Humility versus pride, servant versus flawed king.
Right. And the goal isn't power for its own sake. John 12 makes that clear. This servant leadership, it's all directed towards the Father's glory.
Yeah.
And the validation. It's instant. A voice out of the heaven confirms it immediately.
Wow. Okay, so the thread connects everything. Law, history, prophecy, it's all scrapping this one big story, moving from failing human kingship to this perfect, humble servant kingship. That's quite a unified picture from just 12 verses.
It is. And the implication, well, it's pretty massive. It suggests the whole collection of scriptures might actually function as a, what you could call a self-vindicating library.
Self-vindicating. How so?
Because this coherence, this structure we found, just with 12 verses, it hints at a larger, maybe 7-stage thematic order for everything. Think like foundation, then failure like Saul, then reflection, promise, pattern manifestation, and finally consummation.
A 7-stage structure for the whole canon.
Potentially. And what's fascinating is this structure seems to need texts that sometimes get pushed aside. Like, you arguably need the Septuagint's wisdom books for that reflection stage. And maybe even something like the Book of Enoch fits providing the heavenly pattern needed for the pattern stage. It's not a structure we're forcing onto the texts. It seems to arise from them.
So the provocative thought for you, the listener, is maybe to start looking at these texts differently, not as separate books or isolated stories, a law here, a bit of history there, a prophecy over here.
Right, but maybe as threads woven into one single continuous narrative. An intentional story unfolding across thousands of years, pointing towards, well, a singular comprehensive plan. Something to think about.